Well, hello again. So my name is Abby. I'm in the Mangomint product marketing team. Super excited to have you all join us today. So today, our feature spotlight is going to focus on automated messages. So really excited to dive into this content with you all today and give you a lot of actionable tips for setting up automated messages in your Mangomint account. We are going to take around 25 to 30 minutes to cover automated messages today. And as usual, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to throw those in the chat. And I will get to hopefully try to get to as many as I can during the webinar. And of course, any that we don't get to, we don't have time for, we will absolutely make sure that we follow up with you after the webinar one-on-one so that you can get your questions answered. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that you all can see our Mangomint app. And then from there, we'll dive into automated messages. Okay, perfect. So I'm now sharing my Seven Lakes Salon and Spa demo app here in Mangomint, my demo account here in the Mangomint app. And so first, I want to talk a little bit about, what are automated messages and just kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview of what these are. So automated messages are so cool because they allow you to have full control over all of your client facing and also your internal staff communication all from one spot inside of Mangomint. So when you use our automated messages, you're going to be able to send automated messages based on specific key events that happen in your salon or spa. So if you have an event such as appointment booking, appointment cancellations, even sending messages for things like a membership starting or ending, and many more as well. So we're going to kind of cover a lot of different events and use cases that you can use automated messages for. And I'm also going to show you guys it's just how easy it is to use these. So you're going to be able to set up and view all of your messages in a really easy to use and intuitive timeline view that I'll show you guys as well. And so I really am excited about this webinar because using automated messages is going to help you take your client communications to the next level. So as we all know, great communication really sets the foundation for great client relationships. And as you build those relationships over time, you start, making clients have wonderful experiences and they want to come back again and again. And they're also more likely to, refer friends to your business. So it's really important to set that foundation with great communication. Also, when you use automated messages, this is going to help you spend less time on the phone. So I think all of us here can appreciate that. And it's really just going to help you streamline your internal and your external communications. So really, this webinar today is really all about, how can you set up an amazing client experience all the way from the point of booking to checkout and beyond. So really excited to dive into automated messages with you all today. So first, I want to talk about just how can you actually enable automated messages in your account and get started. So one thing that I do want to point out, and the nice thing about automated messages in Mangomint is that you do not actually need to do anything special to enable automated messages. So this feature is already available to everybody and it's available on every single Mangomint plan. And so to start using automated messages, all you need to do is go to the automated messages tab, and I'm going to show you guys right now how to get there. So right now I'm in my calendar view, but now we're going to head over to our settings and then we're going to click on automated messages. So all you need to do is click here on settings, and then you'll see here we have a tile that says automated messages. So we're just going to click into that. Okay, so now we're at kind of our automated messages home base here. This is where you can set up all of the automated messages. And again, that's both email messages as well as text messages inside of your Mangomint account. So the first one here is going to let you set up automated messages for every time an appointment is booked. So right now we are on the appointment book tab. So that's where I want you to start. And feel free to follow along as well if you want to in your own Mangomint account. So this is, again, where you can configure all of the automated messages that are going to be sent after an appointment is booked. This is a really critical event that happens in your salon or spa business. It's so important to have an immediate confirmation when clients book an appointment. And I know it does sound like pretty basic. It's like kind of obvious. Of course, you need a confirmation when the appointment is booked. but it's just so important. It's going to give clients confidence that their booking was successful. So, anytime you're doing something, especially online, you're purchasing something or you're booking a service, your clients want to know that that booking was successful. So that's so important. And also, it's going to give clients a record of when their upcoming appointment will be. So it's just going to help them stay more organized and more likely to make sure that they attend the appointment on time, as they set out to do when they book the appointment. And another cool thing about these messages is that these will include your cancellation policy. And this is a really important point to stress. It's so important to give your clients clear information about your cancellation policy and all of your communications with them. It's going to help you reduce no-shows. And, when it comes to something as important as your cancellation policy, you don't want them to try to guess, what that policy is or not know where to find it or things like that. You want to make that super clear and easy to find. And so that's why we have these set up in the messages that go out for appointment bookings. And another thing too that I will just point out here is if you're here and you're starting to set up your appointment booking automated messages, if you realize that you need to update your cancellation policy, you can definitely do that. You won't do it here, but you can do that from the calendar and appointments screen in your Mangomint app. So just want to point that out. That's super easy to set up. And also, you can use these automated messages to send client forms. So that will be something like intake forms, waivers, things like that. You can send those out automatically in these appointment booked messages going out. So first, let's go ahead and go over this immediately when booked event. So this is the first event, these will be sent out as soon as the appointment is booked. So what you're going to see here, I'm going to scroll down here, and you're going to see that you have two options. So you can set the appointment status to either unconfirmed or confirmed. And I do want to point out here that these settings, the settings that you see below in this timeline, they will update slightly based on which one you select here, whether you select unconfirmed or confirmed. So if you choose unconfirmed, in the lower automated messages below, closer to the appointment, such as maybe, I'll scroll down here, maybe 2 days before, things like that, you can send an email and or a text message to the client to request their confirmation. So if I do that, if I just click unconfirmed, you can see here that you can set one up and it'll request the confirmation from the client. So you can have it set up that way. And then you could also have it set to confirmed, and then you'll see here that it would just be email reminders or text reminders instead. And so I'm going to go ahead and for now, I'm just going to set it up to set appointment status to unconfirmed. And then next, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually go in here and start customizing these messages. You can also preview them. So we made that super easy to do in Mangomint. So all you need to do is click, let's go ahead and check out this email to clients that's sent right after the appointment is booked. So all you need to do is click here on this little gear icon, and we're going to click that. And so now you can see that this will be sent out with the following appointment information. So you have a couple options up here. You can, decide to have these enabled or disabled, depending if you want to send it for appointment booked online or also send for appointments booked by a staff member. And then you can also customize these emails. So we made that super easy for you all in Mangomint. So all you need to do to actually customize it, and that'll basically just insert some custom text here in the email body. So you can just go here and click on customize, and then you can just go here and you can say, just write a custom message. Of course, you can, make this whatever you want. And then if you save that, you'll see that now that displays right here below the button to complete the form. So you can, put whatever information there. Maybe if you have additional instructions or things like that, you can have that right there. And then also, we have made it really easy to send a test as well. So you can actually see what the email looks like in your email client. So you can just make sure everything's looking really professional and, showcasing your brand in the way that you want. So all you need to do is you can click send a test, and then you can actually send an example email to yourself or to any of your other staff members, owners, managers, whoever it may be. So all you do is insert the email address there. I have mine here. And then I'm just going to click send example. And so it says the example email has been sent successfully. So that's really nice to do. Once you get this kind of set up as you like, you can send that test and check out that test email just to make sure it's looking really good. So let's go ahead and close that out. And now I'm also going to show you guys how to update the text message that is sent out. So if we just click on here, and again, you click anywhere here, this will let you update the text message that will be sent out as well. And again, just like the other one, we have these various options up here. So you can enable or disable those if you want. One thing I do want to point out is this is where you can choose if you want to include form requests. So you can even have the form request sent out in the text message that's sent to clients. And this is super useful. So again, this is perfect if you want to have the client, fill out a form prior to your appointment, such as an intake form, consultation form, something like that. So just as an example, at the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa, they actually offer facial services. So a variety of facial services. And so they actually send out a facial intake form, and they have it sent out in their text messages every time an appointment is booked. And so that's really nice. Clients can easily go in, fill that out before the appointment. It only takes them a couple minutes. Super easy for all of your clients to handle that. So we'll go ahead and close that out now. And then you will see here, we're going to move down the timeline a bit. There's just a couple more settings here on this immediately when booked event. So you can also send for online bookings only and send for staff made bookings only. For these two options, you can actually, if you want to, you can set up internal notification emails for the appointment bookings as well. So if I just click that, you can see here that you can send an internal notification to a specific email address. And so if I just add that, you just click on the gear icon again, and then all you do is go to edit, and you can add the email recipients there. So super easy for you to add. You can add multiple email recipients if you want. All right, and then you could also do the same. Like I said, if you want to set up an internal notification for staff-made bookings only, you can easily set that up as well. So you would just go here and add your email recipients. So that's how you set up that one. And then if we just move further down the timeline, and you can see how easy it is, you can kind of scroll down in the timeline view and see all the different events and the different times that these will happen. So you can then set up additional automated messages that are happening closer to the appointment date and time. So you can kind of set up whatever cadence you want there. If you click on this little pencil icon, you can actually edit the timing. So you could do, 1 day before the appointment, maybe you want to do 3 days before the appointment or 5 days. You can choose whatever you want to do there and use the cadence that makes the most sense for your business. So I'll just close that out. And then you can see here, and again, you can set up either emails and or text messages. So whatever you prefer. I think in many cases, a lot of clients, especially prefer text messages just because they like the immediacy of them, but definitely you will know your client base best and you'll know what they prefer. And in many cases, we would recommend that you just do both, just to make sure you hit them from multiple angles. As we all know, it's super easy to accidentally miss an email, or you don't see a text for a while, or things like that. So then you can just go and continue to set these up however you would like. There we go. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add one to request the confirmation. So I'm just going to delete one of these, and then I'm just going to click here, and you can do an email to request the confirmation or a text message to request the confirmation. So it's saying you can only send one per day. So we could kind of continue setting that up as you want to. And then if we scroll down, then you can also set them up for the same day as the appointment as well. So again, I recommend setting up the cadence that makes sense for you. It's definitely good to have them both leading up to the appointment and then do another final reminder on the day of as well. So that is how you set up your appointment booked automated messages. So next, I want to show you guys how to set up automated messages every time an appointment is canceled. So we are going to just scroll back up and go over here to the appointment canceled tab. So let's go ahead and click on that. And so this is where you can configure which automated messages are sent whenever an appointment is canceled. So I strongly recommend that you guys set these up as well. Again, kind of what we talked about before, it's all about that good communication with your clients. And in many cases, it's about over communicating and being really transparent with them. So that applies, not just to appointment bookings, but it also applies to cancellations as well. So you want to keep things really organized for your clients and keep your clients informed at all times. And so, maybe they're canceling with you this time, but they might be back later. So it's important to set up automated messages to handle that situation as well. And so you can see here, it just says immediately when canceled. And so you can set up both email and text messages for all cancellations. So you could either do emails, or if you wanted to not send an email, for example, you could just delete that, confirm. And then you could also, if you just wanted to do text messages, for example, to confirm the cancellation, you could do that. So you can kind of play around with these, set it up however you want to, and you can edit these, customize them all the same way, and you can send the test in the same way as well. And you can test both the emails as well as in the text here. You can see here that you can even send yourself a test text message as well. So you can see how that text message would look for your clients. All right, so now we've covered appointment cancellations. Next, I want to talk about how to set up automated messages for form submissions. So let's go ahead and go there. So all you need to do is click on the Form Submitted tab. So now we're on the Form Submitted tab, and this one is a little bit different from the other ones. So this one actually lets you send internal emails whenever a form is submitted. So the cool thing about our automated messages, it's not just referring to external emails and text messages going to your clients, but this actually controls some of the internal emails to help streamline your internal communications. So you can go ahead and just have this sent out whenever a form is submitted. So again, that could be an intake form or waiver, anything else. So let's just go ahead and add that. So we're going to click on internal notification to specific email address. And then we're just going to click the gear icon, and you can see a preview of it. And then here you can add the email recipients right here. So just click edit, and you can add the email recipients. Just like that. And so again, this is really great if you have specific forms set up, like I mentioned before, intake forms or waivers, consultation forms. Obviously some salons or spas, they might have more forms than other types. So this may or may not apply to your business, but it's really nice if you want a member of your team to be notified whenever that occurs. So whenever that form is submitted. And it's especially helpful, especially if they need to take action somehow on the form after it's submitted. So you could have this sent to maybe an owner or a manager or a specific staff member, things like that. All right, so we've covered our form submitted. So now I want to show you guys how to set up automated messages for waitlist entries. So we will go ahead and click waitlist entries here. And before we get too deep into this one, first, I do want you to make sure that you have intelligent waitlist set up in your account. So if you don't yet have the intelligent waitlist set up in your account, you can easily enable that, and you can do it from our app manager. And again, you just access the app manager in your settings. So definitely set that up first if you need to, and then come back here and you can set up your automated messages for waitlist entries. So now we're here again in waitlist entries. And so when clients are added to the waitlist, they can actually be notified by a text message and or email. And I will say here that the email notifications, they will include more detailed information, such as requested dates and times selected, as well as the services requested. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. So you can see here, it says, hi, John, you've been added to the wait list at the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa. It has all of the key information there. And it says, we'll get in touch when an opening becomes available. And then you can also even send a text message if you want to. And you'll see, of course, the text message, obviously we're working with just a few characters here. You want to, get a short message out to them. So this obviously has a lot less detail in it, but this is just another thing to layer in along with that email notification, for example. And you can customize this as well. So you can still customize it. You can add up to an additional 215 characters if you want to. Okay, and then also you can set up staff notifications as well. So this says here, new opening for waitlist entry. So whenever there's a new opening, you can actually send that internal staff notification. So again, another way to streamline your internal communications. So if you just click on that, you can click into here, and then you just go to edit and set up your email recipients for that. So again, this is really nice if you want to notify your staff members, maybe a front desk team or manager or something like that, and let them know whenever a waitlist entry opening becomes available. Okay, so next we are going to cover the check-in process. So let's go ahead and go over here. So we're now in the check-in process, and this is a really fun one. I like this one because, it's super important to be strategic about your check-in process and really make sure that it goes smoothly for everybody involved, especially if you have a new client coming in, for example. They've never had a service with you and, they've never checked in with you before. You want to make sure they come away from that experience, having it had it gone really smoothly, and really ensure that they have a great experience before they even get in your chair. So one thing I do want to note as well on this screen is that the settings that are displayed here will reflect whether or not you have the waiting room enabled in your calendar. So that's going to kind of dictate that. And so I'll show you what I mean by that. So what we're going to do now is just actually go over to settings, and then we're going to click on calendar and appointments. And then we're going to click on waiting room. And what we're going to do now is just going to go ahead and disable the waiting status. So we're going to, for now, turn off the waiting room, disable that waiting status, just so you guys can see what that looks like. So now we'll go back here to settings, and we'll go to automated messages again, and then back to check-in process. And so now that we've turned that off, so if you're here and you do not have that enabled, you do not have the waiting room enabled, that is, then you're going to see here that most of these automated messages will be disabled. So you can see here, these are disabled. You cannot set these up, except the very last one is still enabled. So you can still have this one, send this one out if you want. So when appointment status is set to checked in, you can send a text message to the service provider. But that's kind of how that looks like when the waiting room is, and the waiting status is disabled. So next, we're going to go back and re-enable that, and I'll show you guys how that changes the experience here. So just click on settings. We're going to go back to calendar and appointments, back to waiting room. And then this time we are going to enable the waiting status. So go ahead and enable that. And then all we need to do is to configure check-in related messages, go to check-in process. So this appears. And then we're just going to click on that. And now that takes us directly right back to automated messages and right back to the check-in process screen here, so we can continue setting this up. And so now you can see that we have additional options here for these automated messages. And this is really nice because you can actually use the waiting room and pair it with our automated messages to create a smoother and a more automated check-in process. It's going to be really great for your clients and also your staff. So really a win-win for everybody involved. So we have a few different events here in the timeline. So 15 minutes prior, you can actually send an email and or a text message to the client. And they can actually use this email or the text message to check themselves in when they arrive. So again, something like this, this is sent 15 minutes prior to appointment time. I highly recommend that you include a text message to the client. So many of your clients, everybody's, using text messages today. And if they're anything like me, they're racing to get to their appointment on time. They're driving, they're in traffic. They don't always have time to be checking their email and things like that, especially so close to the appointment. So I would recommend doing a combination here, both an email and a text message as well. And then it'll be super easy for them to see that coming in and check themselves in. And I love this one as well because you can use this message to actually convey other types of really important information. So maybe, for example, you want to give them directions or additional parking information, or you want to provide additional check-in instructions. You can add that here. Maybe you want to add specific information about accessing the building, or, maybe your salon or your spa, you're located in a high-rise building and they need to go to the 10th floor, suite 110 or whatever it may be. And so you can actually add instructions. So right here, you can see I've added a custom message that says, take the elevator to floor 5. And so this is really helpful, especially in the text message form, to get it right there as they're checking in and just kind of convey those extra instructions you may have for them. All right, so then let's scroll down here on the timeline. So you can also set up messages for when the client checks themselves in as waiting. So once they check themselves in, you can send a text message to the assigned service provider, and you can also send a text message to additional phone numbers if you want as well. So you can click here. It says, your 3:26 p.m. appointment is waiting, client name John Smith. So the service provider will see the client name, which is really nice. And just get another reminder, especially if, for example, that this service provider is finishing up another service. It's really convenient for the provider to get that quick text, see, oh, okay, I see that my next client is waiting, they're here, they're ready to go, and that'll just help streamline their operations too. And then, of course, you can send a text message to specific phone numbers as well if you want to notify anybody else about when a client checks in as waiting. And then you can also set up automated messages for when the staff member presses the notify button. So again, that'll be in the calendar. They can press that notify button. And so they're going to do that whenever the provider is ready to see the client. So often you may have front desk staff, you may handle that, whoever it may be. But you can actually set this up to send a text message and or an email to the client. And we can show you what that looks like. So you can see here, if you check out the email, it says, okay, we're ready for you. So this will be sent to the client. Or again, going with the text message theme, you can absolutely set one up for a text message to be sent to the client. So it'll say Harriet, or the name of the provider is ready for your appointment. And again, you can customize that however you need to. All right. And then the last one that's on here is you can also send a text message to the service provider when the client is checked in for the service. So this is really nice. This kind of closes the communication loop on the whole check-in process. So if we just click into that, you can see here that this one cannot be customized, but it'll just say your 3:28 p.m. appointment is here, client name John Smith. And so that will be sent to the service provider as well. Perfect. Okay, so that kind of covers the check-in process. Let's go ahead and check out how to set up automated messages when a sale is closed. So we'll just click on that. So you can also send an automated thank you email to the client whenever you close a sale. So maybe they purchase a retail product, something like that, or they're checking out from their appointment. So you can set those up here. And so I'll just click into that and show you what that looks like. And so here's a preview of the email. So it says, hey, your recent visit, thank you for visiting the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa. It includes a link to view their receipt. So they can also click on that and have that for their reference. So this is just a really cool, thing to do after you close the sale. And I would suggest as well, consider maybe adding a custom thank you message to this email that kind of reflects your business and your brand. So you can kind of get creative with this if you want to, and add some type of custom thank you text as well in this thank you email to the client. All right, so let's move on to gift cards. So again, this is set up just like all of the other kind of events within your automated messages. So if you click on the gift cards tab, so whenever gift cards are purchased online, an email will be sent with a receipt to the buyer, and also an email with the gift card details will be sent to the recipient. So you can see here, when sold online or sent via email by a staff member, you can send those emails as well. And so if you click into that, you can see what those look like. It says, thank you for purchasing a gift card. You can view your receipt. And then if we click on the gift card details email that's sent to the recipient, you can check that out. It'll say, John or whoever sent you a gift card. It'll, address them by their name. It has the logo and everything, and it has whatever gift card design you have set up. And so they'll have that there for their reference so they can use that. You can also send an automated email that will be sent to the recipient when a digital gift card is sent by a staff member. So if you want, you can have this set up as well. And if you want to, you can customize it. So that's another thing that's already set up here for you. And one thing to point out on these gift cards messages, you cannot disable these messages because you want to be getting these notifications. These emails need to be going out. It's not really something that you would want to disable. However, as you could see here, you can customize them. So you can always go in and customize these really easily at any time. Maybe you have a certain email set up, but you want to go back later, customize some text. You can see how you can easily do that, in a matter of seconds, and just save that, and you'll have your new updated email. Okay, so then getting close to the end here, but I want to make sure we also cover memberships. So you can also set up automated messages for your memberships. And this is a really cool one. So we actually added this memberships tab that you see here fairly recently, only within the last couple of months. And this is a really great addition to our automated messages. So, with memberships, it's super important to keep your clients informed about their membership status and make sure they understand all the details of their memberships so that they can use it and they're aware of it. So the first one here is when the membership is started. So you can send an email to the client with their membership details. So we'll go ahead and just click on that and you can see what that looks like. So this has all of the membership details. This will be sent as soon as the membership is started. And it has the name of the membership, it has the price, it has listed out all of the services here. And there's also this link here to review membership details at any time if they want to. And then if you go down here in the timeline, we do have another one that can be sent 10 days before renewal. So you do have an option to send this. Obviously, you could delete it if you wanted to. We could delete that here, but we'll go ahead and enable that again. And so this is really nice. This lets you send an email to the client prior to their upcoming renewal. So, it's really nice. They don't have any surprises when their credit card is charged again, things like that. Just kind of reminding them that that membership is active. And so if we click on this, you guys can see a preview of what that looks like. So it says your membership will renew soon. It's got, all the key details about the membership again. And just like the other the other email we just looked at, they can manage their membership using that link as well. And then we do also have the ability to set up an automated email when the membership renewal was successful. So again, this one's really nice too, just on that theme of communication, transparency. It's really good to be able to send these after the membership has renewed. So you have the option to send that. And so if you click into there, it'll say, your membership renewed. Thank you for your recent payment. So this will go after that membership, the charge is processed. Here's all the details of it. So you can always access that and just have that record that the membership did renew. And then the last one here is sent out when a membership is canceled. So again, just like with the other ones, you do have an option to send an automated email for this one too. And so this one's really useful because, even though the membership is ending, it still has really good information about that membership, letting them know the confirmation that it was canceled. Similar, to, for example, when we were talking about the appointment cancellation types of notifications, it's also really important, I think, that when you end a membership, that you have this nice confirmation, just letting them know that that was canceled. And also it's really helpful because it says here that it kind of reminds them that they can still use any unused services that they didn't actually get around to using yet. So, and it kind of says, hey, we hope to welcome you back soon. So kind of end things on a positive note, remind them to use their unused services. So this is just really a nice thing to do to send when the membership is canceled. Okay, so we have covered all of our different automated messages here. And I'm just going to check our chat as well, just to see if we have any questions that have come in. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I do see a really great question that has come in. So somebody is actually asking, are there any fees for automated messages? That's a super good question. Thank you so much for asking that. So the answer to that is no, there are no extra fees for automated messages. So all of our Mangomint plans, they include unlimited text messages and email appointment confirmations and reminders. So any text messages or emails that are sent out that are related to all these automated messages for these types of appointment confirmations and reminders, those are all part of your plan already. So you do not need to have the two-way texting add-on or anything like that to be able to use our automated messages. So that was an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. Okay, well, I think we have now covered all of the main settings, I would say, in automated messages. I will just quickly, before we wrap up, I will point out there are some additional advanced settings that you can see here. We won't go through all of these today, but definitely take a moment as you're starting to get these set up, after you kind of focus on setting up your automated messages for all these primary different types of events and things like that. Make sure at some point that you do check out these advanced settings, and definitely let our team know if you have any questions as you're starting to set these up. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up our feature spotlight today. But thank you so much again, everybody, for joining. Really enjoyed our time here today. And if you have any questions about our automated messages or any other features, definitely chat with our support team, or also check out our Learning Center. We've got a ton of great resources about automated messages on the Learning Center as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And don't forget to check out more Mangomint webinars on our website.